Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some homemade chili dogs and fries. So I'm just starting out with my ground beef in a pot, and I'm just going to make the chili. I'm just going to brown up all of this ground beef. Chili dogs are one of those things that I absolutely love, but I don't make often enough because it's probably not healthy for you, but I really do love a good chili dog. So I'm just going to finish cooking up all of my ground beef. This was a little bit over a pound. So once the ground beef was cooked, I just drained out as much grease that I could, and now I'm going to begin seasoning the meat. I'm just going to add in some minced garlic and some onion powder. I really am a fan of seasoning each layer, so first I'm going to season the meat, and then I will season the mixture, and then I will season the chili all together. So next I'm going to add in some chili powder, some smoked paprika, and some garlic salt. So next I'm going to add in my tomato sauce. I don't have exact measurements for this, but that was an 8-ounce can, so maybe about half. I'm going to add a little bit more minced garlic. I love garlic. Next, I'm going to add in 1 can of pinto beans. I should have done 2 cans. I do like more beans than meat in my chili, so next time I would do 2 cans. Next, I'm going to add in my water. Again, I don't measure anything, and it's totally your preference of how thick or runny you like your chili. So next, I'm going to add in some bouillon powder. I added in some chicken and some beef, and I'm also going to add a little bit more of the chili powder. So I'm just going to continue cooking my chili. I did let this sit for probably an hour. I'm just going to stir it around, and I'm going to use a cornstarch slurry as a thickener. So at this point, you can definitely taste test your chili. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin. I personally like really thick chili, so I'm going to add some more cornstarch slurry. So I just let this sit on low while I worked on the potatoes. So I'm going to cut some russet potatoes into small French fry form, and then I will roast them. This is also when I started to cook the hot dogs. I just boiled them in water, and that's basically all I did. So I just went ahead and washed them. Now I'm going to spread them on this baking sheet, finish drying them, and then I'm just going to throw on some salt. So these just went in the oven at 375 until they were all done. This is how everything looked when it was done. I loved this. I love a nice, good chili cheese dog and chili cheese fries. The next dinner I'm going to show you is one of my staples, my favorite Cajun chicken linguine. So I'm just going to start off with my chicken breast. I'm going to butterfly 1 chicken breast in half. That way I can just cut it into smaller pieces. So I'm just going to cut up this entire chicken breast. I plan on mixing all of the chicken into the pasta. So first I'm going to cook up the chicken and set it aside. So to a pan, I just added a little bit of oil. I'm just going to season my chicken with some Cajun seasoning. I would say my favorite seasonings for this type of pasta is the McCormick Cajun seasoning or the Weber Cajun seasoning. I think it's Weber. So I'm just going to finish cooking the chicken until it is all the way cooked through. So I just set aside the cooked chicken in a clean bowl, and now I'm going to work on the pasta sauce. At the same time is when I started cooking the linguine noodles. So I just kept the same juices from the pan, and I'm adding half a stick of butter, and I'm just going to let this melt down. So next, of course, I'm going to add in my minced garlic. I'm going to cook that until it's fragrant, and then I'm going to add in some flour to make a little bit of a roux. And this is just going to help make the sauce nice and thick. So next I'm going to add in some Cajun seasoning to the roux. I do want to cook up the seasonings a little bit. Next, I'm going to add in my heavy whipping cream. I don't have measurements for this, but I am making half of a box of pasta, so enough for that. So I'm just going to cook the sauce on medium-low, and I'm just going to let it thicken up. Of course, I'm going to add more Cajun seasoning. Next, I'm going to add in my Parmesan cheese. This is kind of like an Alfredo sauce, just with Cajun seasoning. I always save a little bit of the pasta water, and this I'm going to use it to thin out the sauce. So now is when I mix everything together. So I'm going to add in the drained linguine noodles and my chicken, and I'm just going to toss that all together. So I did let this sit for 5 minutes just so everything can thicken up together. This is how everything looked when it was done. I just roasted some green beans and made a slice of garlic bread for my husband. The last dinner I'm going to show you, I made some easy chicken fried rice. So I'm starting out with my chicken. I just diced it up into small bite-sized pieces, and now I'm just going to work on cooking it. So I'm just gonna season the chicken with a little bit of soy sauce. So I'm just going to finish cooking up the chicken, and then I will set this aside in a clean bowl. I did also want to mention I made my rice ahead of time, so I made the rice the night before. So next I'm going to work on my peas and carrots. I'm just dumping a bag of frozen peas and carrots into the pan with a little bit of oil, and I'm going to let these steam. I do put the lid on it to help soften them. So I'm going to lightly season these with a little bit of salt and onion powder. So next I'm going to add in my cooked rice already. I don't think I let this completely dry out. I think there is still a moisture built up, so it's not perfect. So I'm just going to mix everything together. I realized that I should have done the eggs before I added the rice, so I will do them basically now. I think fried rice definitely needs scrambled eggs. So next I'm going to add in my soy sauce. I keep my fried rice pretty plain and simple, so I don't add too much stuff to it. So I just let this finish cooking, and this was basically ready to go. I also worked on cooking up some pot stickers. How everything looked when it was done. I love making this. It's always so simple and easy. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.